Hello, criminal justice enthusiasts, and welcome back to The Darkest Files. In the last episode, we completed the first case. We went to court, we got all the suspects found guilty. Now we're on to a new case, The Righteous Man.
Esther, come on! You are so bad at this.
Alright. So another memory here for Esther to start us out.
Holly. I know. And no peeking. I wasn't peeking. 10, 9, 8, 7, 2, 1, 0. Ready or not, here I come.
Okay, so now I'm playing hide and seek. Sort of cool the way they have this set up. Like I said, I really like the art style overall. We can see her hiding there. Actually, I'm not sure that is her. Let's check.
Where could you be? Maybe under the table? Cold, cold.
Ah, very cool.
Are you behind here? Even colder. No fair. It has to be warm somewhere. How about in the wardrobe? You are so bad at this, Esther.
Huh.
Stop! It's not fun. Where are you? Lottie, where?
Oh, right.
Lottie. As I said, I do sort of wonder what they're going to do with that. I have a feeling they might take that in a very unique style. As I said in a previous episode, I wonder if Esther might not be gay. For the time period, that would be very unique. I thought I was on the front cover there, sort of looked like it there, so I was curious to see about myself, but evidently I am not.
Good morning, Miss Katz. There are some new letters for you. I left them on your desk.
Alright. Alright, so this one looks to be from somebody that's going to be nicer than the last letter, so let's go ahead and read this. Esther, my darling, I know it has only been a week since we talked, but it feels like so much longer. I'm writing this in the evening while waiting for your father. It's the first moment I had to catch my breath since we landed. We're going to the theater tonight, and as per usual, he can't find his necktie. Must be her mother. This man would be lost without us, wouldn't he? New York has a beauty to it that pictures can't translate. You just feel the hopes and dreams of the people here. It's nothing like Frankfurt. Unfortunately, you can also smell them. Not to even mention the unspeakable state of trash in the streets. Still, it's a magical place, and we have barely started exploring. It is such a pity you couldn't get the time off to join us. I think that's supposed to be off, so we need another F there. You more than deserve it. The stellar work you've done with that insurgent of yours. Your Bauer has no idea the gem he has on his hands. You should be careful with him. Don't let him drag you down when he inevitably starts drowning. I hear your father coming up. He must be ready. Take care, my darling, and don't let yourself be worked dry. Love, Mutty. Alright. So we open that. Let's see what we got in the files today. There are no appointments scheduled for today. Alright, that's nice, I guess. Compulsory military service begins. First, 10,000 recruits report for duty. Bond 10,000 young men began their service in the Federal Armed Forces as West Germany reinstates conscription 12 years after the war. Defense Minister Strauss emphasized the necessity of this step given the Soviet threat. The opposition strongly criticizes the measure. Last year, 1,000 volunteers had already joined the force. Basic training for new recruits is scheduled to last 3 months. First death sentences in Budapest uprising trial. Budapest, a people's court today sentenced 3 defendants to death in a show trial of 11 participants of the October uprising. The condemned were charged with counter-revolution and high treason. Prime Minister Kadar continues his harsh campaign against the insurgents. The trial is part of a comprehensive purge following the bloody suppression of the popular uprising by Soviet troops in November. Western observers condemned the proceedings as political justice. More trials are scheduled to follow. Alright. So, nothing really going on yet. I'm guessing this is going to beep here in a moment. Surprise, surprise. Yes, it did.
Miss Katz, there's a man here asking to see you. Walter Hens? I don't think he has an appointment.
Yeah, let's go ahead and, ask what he wants.
Did he say what he wants from me?
He says he has a case about one Miss sorry, one moment. He wants to talk to you about one Anna Kazmirek.
I wonder what's that about. I'll be with him shortly in the conference room.
Alright, so we do have an interview suddenly. Well, that's different. Alright. I mean, I guess I have some
Mr.
free time.
Hens is waiting for you in the conference room.
Thank
This
you.
is a man who won't take no for an answer. Sorry for the confusion before. Mr. Bauer did not mention Anna Kazmirek before. I just couldn't connect the dots with Mr. Hens breathing down my neck.
Let's see here. Bauer and
Interesting. What did Mr. Bauer say about this case?
He didn't work on it himself, I think. But there was an investigation already, and he was very interested in the outcome.
Okay, so we will have some documents to begin with.
What did you make of our surprise visitor, Paula?
Mr. Hens? Brash. I'd even say thuggish. Very sure of himself. I got the feeling he's the kind of man whose activities other prosecutors might be interested in. He also seemed... haunted? Men like this, they don't open up often. But this case seems important to him.
Interesting.
Did he say what this case was about?
A name. Anna Kazmirek. And something about looting. But he wants to discuss it with you, and with you only, Miss Katz.
Alright.
Thank you, Paula.
Well, I guess my first case there got me some notoriety.
Don't you look majestic up there? Keeping watch?
What? Where? Oh, how did she get there?
Do like petting a cat. Love animals overall.
Good morning. I've been told you wanted to see me. Mr. Hens, was it?
Walter Hens, a pleasure. You're the one from the old man, right? The rebel with the flag?
Yeah, we're gonna actually say his name because we're proper like that. But yeah, as I was saying there just for a moment, I want to put a caveat on. I do love pretty much all animals. The one type of animal I am just not a fan of is snakes. If you've been on the channel for a while, you will know my sort of phobia of snakes, because there's been a few games I couldn't even complete because of their use of snakes in the game. Just, it really gets to me. But anyways, let's continue with this. I don't think we're gonna have that problem here.
Hans Naumann. And he was not the rebel. That was the entire
Is this the only case you have ever solved?
Yeah, let's say this is not a, let's say it's not about, yeah, let's go with why are you here? Let's get him focused on his case.
While I do appreciate the nice conversation, I must ask, why are you here?
Right. Not one for small talk, are you now?
No.
I'm here on behalf of my wife. She wishes she could do it herself, but her health isn't what it... Honestly, Tessie's never been a beacon of health, but it has been getting worse and...
Mr. Hens, the case?
It's about her girl, Anna. Anna Kazmirek. She was only 19 when they killed her. When they, had her killed.
Yeah, let's go with
What
had
do you
her
mean
killed.
by that? Who had her killed?
You lot. Lawyers, judges, the whole circus.
Oh,
Sent her
this
to the
could get...
guillotine for looting. Called her a traitor to the nation. She was innocent.
That's interesting. We could have a really sticky situation here if we're going up against lawyers and judges this time.
You'll have to explain that.
That's why I'm here. Do you remember the bombing of Brunswick in '44?
I'm going to go with yes. I don't personally, but I'm guessing it's something that she would.
Of course. October, right? Left the whole city on fire.
Yes. It was like the whole world was burning.
So we already have an interrogation.
I doubt any words could ever give it justice.
Alright, nothing here to look at, so we gotta go this way.
The Tommies hit us overnight. They lit the whole city like a Christmas tree when they started the firestorm. Come morning, nothing was left of the old town, and not much of everything else.
Yeah, this is one of those where I will say it's interesting to me because a lot of times now you hear about how certain countries are doing terrible things and they shouldn't be allowed to do what they do and such. We seem to have a selective memory of other countries did terrible things too. I mean, yes, I'm not in any way saying the Nazis were innocent in what was going on during World War II, but the Allied powers definitely did do horrible things to the civilians over there as well. So, just a little speech there on my part. Let's go ahead and continue.
A firestorm?
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a pillar of flame rising to the sky, Miss Katz?
I wish there was video of this.
Not a
It would be
sight I wish
interesting.
on anybody.
So the whole thing with it is basically if you dropped enough bombs or incendiaries of some kind in a particular area, the fire would burn hot enough, as far as my understanding, so that it would actually create its own air currents. Those air currents then would basically make a fire tornado almost out of it. As I said, I have not seen actual video footage of it, but it's a concept that I've always found intriguing. I mean, horrible, but really incredible and powerful at the same time.
Christmas tree? That's a peculiar analogy.
Not really. It's how we called their markers. They drop flares of various colors, lighting up the panorama like, well, a Christmas tree.
Makes sense. Alright, nothing else seems to be clicking on other than the figure there. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything first. Alright, let's go with the figure then.
That's terrible. I am sorry I have to ask, but how is it connected to the case?
Anna lost everything that day, other than her mother. Their place was hit by a bomb. The whole block, gone in an instant. Not a stone left standing.
Alright, so we do have quite a few things to find. Definitely want to make sure we find them.
Tell me about Anna.
She was a good kid, no matter what they say. Mixed parentage from her mother's side. Prussian-Polish family. It earned her more than a few side eyes. Anna had to work hard for it. Someone had to look after the family. But she was a young girl. She wanted to have fun when she could.
Her mother? You mentioned she's your wife?
Yes, Tessie. Teresa Hens. She was born out east. A small village in, would be Masovia now? Poland. Came to Brunswick with her husband after the First War. Had Anna on the way, in a train car. She had always been delicate, both in her body and, well, you know, mind. Again, she sends her apologies for not being here herself.
Trying to click on that. Alright, let's look around some. There we go.
When did you and Teresa marry?
A few months after the execution. It wasn't love, just the right thing to do. With Anna gone, she had no one to take care of her, and she was in no position to provide for herself. I was doing well with my pub, so I offered to help. It's not the most romantic of stories.
I'd actually say it's really impressive at the same time. That is a hell of a sacrifice for a person to make. So, kudos to him. Very noble. Awesome. Alright, looks like we're ready to continue the main story. I'm not seeing anything else to click on.
The morning after the bombing, Anna went to the ruins. Spent the whole day digging through the rubble, searching for, well, anything.
You mean the ruins of the house?
Yes, an older tenement house for some of the lower classes. Not the first place they lost. Believe it or not, it was actually their third home destroyed by the bombings.
That's sort of crazy to think about. Once again, it's one of the things I love about this game is not only are we, what's that white spot? Doesn't look like anything. And doesn't look like I can move or see anything else, so we'll just continue with Anna's story. But yeah, I do love the fact of how really you're getting a glimpse at history that we haven't seen before. I think the game is made by a German game developer, so it is sort of cool to see life at the time period from a different perspective than I have in the US. Anyways, let's continue.
You said she was sentenced for looting. I'm sorry, but I have to ask. Did she loot anything?
No. She had found a few things, but everything belonged to her or her mother. Anna was no thief.
Do you know what she found?
I know of a few things. Her mother's scarf and coat, fur, a pair of boots, and a crucifix from back east. Then some knickknacks, a family photo, a few pieces from her mother's cutlery set, clothes probably. All in all, barely enough to fill a bag or two, and a suitcase supposedly.
Alright, still can't move. Ah, that's where we're supposed to look next. Nothing else to see, so let's go ahead.
Were you there with her?
If only, but I was nowhere near. I only learned about any of this when it was already too late. It happened a few days later. I was at my place when Heidi came, begging for help.
Were you affected by the bombing?
No, I had a small apartment above my pub. Luckily, it was out of the way, so the Tommies didn't target that area.
Alright. Good to know. Can't fully spin around. Alright, so I'm just always scanning for the different
Who's Heidi?
investigation pieces.
Grunewald, Heidi Grunewald. A close friend of Anna. Both of them had been assigned to the same emergency shelter.
Don't think that newspaper was there before, but I cannot click on it. Alright. Just gotta continue.
She asked for your help? Help with what?
Someone had planted a suitcase in Anna's room and accused her of stealing it from the ruins. The police came, and for some reason, the bastard seemed dead set on making the accusation true. That's what it was about at first. No treason, no looting, just a simple theft. And not even that was true.
Very small room and not a lot to interact with so far. Still have 3 pieces I'm needing. Hopefully I haven't missed anything.
What did you do?
I followed her to the shelter, of course, running through the city. But we were too late.
Really thought that newspaper was going to be something. Alright, doesn't look like there's anything else here that is able to be investigated.
The bastards must have grown tired of Anna denying their accusations, decided to make her confess. They beat it out of her. By the time we arrived, they were long gone, leaving the kids. It was bad.
Alright, I guess I'm going to find more here at a point, but doesn't look like I can yet. Curious who the guy is. I'm guessing this is his wife now, but I'm curious who this is.
The kids? Somebody was still there?
Yes, 2 of them. Anna's boyfriend. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. And the Becker's girl, Emilia.
Oh, alright, so it's
Poor
not.
sods. They saw it all and couldn't do jack to stop it.
Emilia Becker. Who was she?
Her family was also placed in that shelter. Shop owners. Local girls, stuck up. They knew each other with Anna and Heidi. I don't think they got on too well.
Alright, so she's possibly somebody I'm going to have to look at.
What can you tell me about Anna's boyfriend?
They had dated for a while. Can't say how long. I've seen him around, but I can't say I remember much. Military sort, I think. Heidi would know more. You'll have to ask her.
Huh.
Where was that?
Can't give you the address. It was a temporary emergency shelter, one of many. A once upper end flat, run down and filled with as many people who lost their homes to the bombing as they could squish. Cramped, but a roof over their head.
There's a very large picture there they have of her with her mom and dad. Suddenly was continuing to walk there even though I didn't want to. Alright, can't open those doors, don't see anything else, so let's go ahead and stand here.
I kept it together as much as I could. Tried talking to them, get them to tell me what happened. Wasn't an easy job.
Let's start with the boyfriend. Actually, let's just take a quick look around, make sure I don't see anything else. Looks like I'm just investigating right now.
The boyfriend, what did he do?
He was curled up in a corner, sobbing, a sad sight. Wouldn't calm down, For a long while, he didn't even respond to anything we said.
Alright. Could be guilt because he didn't do something to save his girlfriend, or maybe guilt for a different reason. Gotta see later. This is my primary suspect right now. I don't trust her.
The Becker girl, what was she doing?
Avoiding us. She had locked herself in her family's room before we arrived and refused to come out.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that doesn't negate any of my suspicion of her.
How did Heidi react?
Bad. She took it hard. Not one to cry, though. She went with anger instead. Started yelling at the boy that he was supposed to keep them there. Didn't get much of a reaction.
Alright. I still can't move and I don't see anything else, so I guess we click on him.
So, what happened? What's the case?
The case is that Anna was innocent and they took her. They beat her. They killed her. Tortured her until she said what they wanted, confessed to something she didn't do. And then they cut her head off.
Whoa. That's an overreaction, I'd say. I hope I didn't miss any clues in here because I can't get in there now. That would be very unfortunate. Be upset about that.
Can you tell me something more about this Heidi Grunewald?
Local girl, strong, hard. All of the Grunwalds were. Good people, but poor people. And quite a lot of them, each with a mouth to feed. Heidi was yay big the first time they pulled her. Gave the rascal her first night in a cell. Pickpocketing. Gave her a job right after that, to keep her off the street. Gave one to Anna soon after. They were already friends.
Oh, I sure hope I did not miss a clue in that bedroom. It's very unfortunate it won't let me go back in there. Ah, good.
Mr. Hens, why did she come to you specifically?
I had some previous encounters with the Force. Unavoidable for a business owner. Well, let's not sugarcoat it. I had a file at the district. Nothing serious, but enough for me to learn how to talk with the blokes. Even find a few sympathetic ears down at the station. Heidi hoped I could talk to them.
Alright, so we've got all the information. We're good to leave then. As I said, I was just nervous with that. I was thinking maybe it was the picture there and I hadn't looked closely enough. Would have been real bad. I would have been upset with myself over that. I want to get 100%
The next
on
day,
this.
they put her on trial. A sham. Nobody was allowed to testify. There was no proof. Her lawyer just sat there, silent. And they changed the accusation, made it a case of looting instead of theft. A treasonous act for some reason.
Yeah, I'm curious why the change.
Why did they change the accusation?
Huh, to hell if I know. Maybe they wanted a show. Or the policeman wanted a promotion and made it out to be a bigger crime. Or whoever made up the whole story of her crime decided it needed more flair.
And that's why they gave her the death sentence?
Yes, some law allowed them to do it because they made her a so-called folk pest, a traitor. I tried to learn more on what really happened there, why it happened. But as a civilian, they wouldn't give me much. All I have is here. This and my wife. Once she feels better, she wants to testify.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's not a prosecution case. This sounds like there's a lot to prosecute. Somebody set this girl up. The police could be prosecuted.
Your wife's testimony? What could she tell us? Was she present at the arrest?
No, but they used her against Anna. A few days after the trial, they came demanding she denounce her own daughter. Threatened her with complicity, promised lenience if she cooperated. They fed her word for word the lies, the calumnies to write and sign about her own daughter, about that damn suitcase. She can tell you the truth. She wants to tell you the truth. She's adamant she can prove there was no crime in the first place.
I have to say it's not a prosecution case. Hopefully, I don't want to say this at all. I disagree. I think there's a lot to prosecute here.
Mr. Hens, I'm terribly sorry. But while this story is awful, I am a prosecutor. It is not for me to prove people's innocence. On the contrary, I accuse them.
But you should accuse them, Miss Katz.
I agree
All
with
of them.
him.
Every single one of the bastards. The bastard who planted a damn suitcase in her room and called the cops, knowing full well it would get her killed. The policeman who tortured her until she said what they wanted to hear. Her lawyer, her judge, especially the judge.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with him, so I'm going to go with very well, I mean, both sound almost too easy. I would be much stronger on this personally because I've seen this case being something to prosecute from the moment it started, pretty much.
Very well. I'll take it up to Mr. Bauer and talk to him about opening a case.
Thank you, Miss Katz. Thank you. I leave our number with your secretary. We'll keep in touch regarding Tessie's health. Arrange a time for her to appear.
But I can't make any promises yet.
I know. Still, thank you for giving it a chance.
The case might be for us after all. I'd better talk to Mr. Bauer.
Anything else for me to do? Nope, just talk to Mr. Bauer. Does she have anything to say this time?
Mr. Hens told me about his wife's situation. Left me their number. Though I can't say I'm happy with him calling me a secretary. I'll keep in contact should you and Mr. Bauer decide to take the case.
Yeah, definitely want,
I haven't seen Christoph today. Do you know where he is?
He's in Hamburg.
Oh, must be nice to get away from the office once in a while.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. He's following a lead for his case. Probably stuck in the court archives.
Have you seen Peters?
Have I seen him? We've been arguing all morning. He made such a mess in the archive. Now he's in his office. I'm telling you, I'm not cleaning up after him again.
How is Mr. Bauer doing?
He had a meeting with the Minister of Justice in the morning. As per usual, left him in a foul mood. He smokes so much when he goes to these things.
you say as there is smoke coming from your ashtray and your hand.
How are you today?
Can't complain. I might even have a little date planned for the evening.
Oh.
My husband got us 2 tickets for Frankenstein. I just hope Mr. Bauer won't have me stay late. It's been forever since we had an evening just to ourselves.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, Paula.
All right, let's go see Mr. Bauer then. We know he's in a bad
Miss
mood.
Katz, It's always good to see you. I take it our unexpected guest has piqued your curiosity.
I didn't realize you knew about it already.
Miss Fisher keeps me updated, and I must admit, I've vested some interest in his case. Or Miss Kazmierek's case, I should say. I assume that is why he came.
Huh. Do I want to be strong, or do I want to ask if he knows about the case? I mean, he did say he knew some about the case. I'm going to go with, I think we should take it.
I think we should take this case.
Miss Katz, I understand your sentiments, but we don't really prove people's innocence here.
But we can prove other people's guilt. The crimes committed against Miss Kazmierek, our victim.
An interesting approach. Very well, color me intrigued. What are your leads?
Alright, so we've got all these possible leads here. I'm going to go with the two named witnesses, because the unnamed witness I think will be important, but since we don't know his name, we can't really use him yet. And Anna's mother is sort of out of the picture right now, so let's go ahead and go with the two named witnesses to start.
Mr. Hens gave me two names, Heidi Grunewald and Emilia Becker. Both of them had previous history with Miss Kazmierek and were present at her arrest.
Their testimonies would make for a good starting point. But there is more, I hope.
Yeah, definitely Anna's mother would be my next point.
There's the victim's mother, Teresa Kazmierek. She's now married to Mr. Hens. She wants to testify, but it's made difficult by her health. They'll be in touch as soon as she's able to come. She wants to set the record straight about a false opinion or testimony she was forced to give. And more importantly, she believes she can prove Anna committed no crime in the first place.
Oh. That would make the case quite a bit easier. Almost realistic. But there is more, I hope.
Yeah, the last piece is a bit weak for right now.
There are a few witnesses to Anna Kazmierek's arrest I still need to identify. The policemen themselves, of course, and the victim's boyfriend. Sadly, Mr. Hens couldn't remember his name.
It should easily come up in the investigation. Same case for the officers.
I agree.
Then there's the documents, of course, from the arrest and the trial. The denunciation itself, if we're lucky.
Wouldn't that be something? Very well, I don't think I have any questions. I agree it's a good case for us. For you, more specifically, the investigation is yours, Miss Katz. The case of Anna Kazmierek versus, well, who? To start, there are three things I believe would serve you well to explore. First, the inciting incident. Why did the police come? How did they know about Anna and her potential crime? Then the most obvious, the beating. Did Anna confess of her own will, or was she coerced? And last, but quite interesting, if the police were there to arrest her for theft, why was she tried for looting and treason instead?
Okay.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Bauer.
The pleasure's all mine, as per usual. Now I believe you've got your work cut out for you.
Definitely a hard case, but I think this is going to be
I
an
should
interesting
start
one.
with the files. If the case was investigated before, there should be something in the archive.
I agree.
And the law that Mr. Hens mentioned. I should ask Paula to find the exact reference.
Yeah, that's where I was going to start. I like talking to Paula. She has a
How
lot.
did it go?
We have a new case. I need you to start digging up files immediately.
Right. Goes without saying.
We know of 5 witnesses who were present at the time of the crime, but we only have 2 names. And we have the victim's mother willing to testify, once her health allows it, whenever that would be.
Alright, so let's go ahead and bring in Heidi to start with.
Heidi Grunewald, a friend and co-worker of Anna. She's the reason why Mr. Hens knew of the situation. She should be able to tell us what happened. And she might know the name of another witness, the victim's boyfriend.
Should I invite her?
Yeah, I want her first because she is another one who cares about the victim, so should be willing to help, unless she turns out to be a suspect later.
Yes.
On it.
Alright.
The policeman who took Anna. I need to know how many there were, their names, and where they are now. Anything you can find.
I'll do my best.
Not going to be an easy task, but that's why I go to Paula, because she really seems to be able to get this stuff done.
One of the witnesses that Mr. Hens recognized was the victim's boyfriend. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to give us his name. I know there isn't much to go on, but can you start looking for him?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, that one's an iffy one for right now until I get a name.
I need you to find me the decree about the folk pest law. It would seem it was used in Anna's case to justify a verdict.
Reich Law Gazette 168. This one I know by memory. I'll have a copy for you by tomorrow.
That's a little creepy there, Paula. It also is creepy that even if they believe this girl had been looting, that they chopped her head off for it. That is a bit extreme there.
Miss Katz.
Yeah, that's all from her. All right.
Thank you, Paula.
All right. So let's
Oh,
go.
be careful when you go downstairs. Someone just broke the window. Again.
Okay. We're that popular, huh? Oh yeah. Yep, we are definitely
I
that.
thought our office would be the crime scene. Or that I'd get used to it.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that in a second. Let me take a look at this again. Alright, we've already seen it. I just was wondering if she was going to have some comment on it this time.
Ah, the corpus delicti. One straight from the sidewalk. Traitors. Very inventive.
Alright, well, let's get started here.
What a mess, as always. And
Whoop. Didn't mean to cut her off like that. There we go. FAK 956148. 58. I don't know. I said F. 5AK 956148. There we go.
there's nothing left for me to do. I should call it a day.
Alright, well, first things first, I want to read through these documents. So let's get the case file open here. We've got the background. So we've got Brunswick bombed, some pictures of it. We've got the German police. Alright, so we've got that. We also have Walter Hens's description of what happened. Whoop. Didn't mean to. I know I did hit the X, but I didn't mean to. Alright, let's look at the old case file. Citizens of Brunswick, on November 20th, 1944, in the early hours of the morning, in the prison of Wolfenbüttel, the criminal Anna Kazmarek has been rightfully executed as a folk pest and traitor to the German people. Interesting advertisement for it. The name of the people in the criminal proceedings against Anna Kazmarek for the act of looting involuntary evacuated buildings. Special court in Brunswick recognizes as right. Defendant Anna Kazmarek is guilty of all charges and as a folk pest and traitor to the German people is therefore sentenced to death by guillotine. The verdict is based on the defendant's own confession given freely following her recognition by the victim. It has not been challenged in any capacity. Let it be noted that no proof or witness for the defendant were presented, with the defense placing the sentence at our discretion. Considering the damning lack of speakers for the defendant's character, her criminal predispositions as an untermensch of Slavic descent, and the reprehensible manner in which she exploited the gravest need of her fellow citizens, punishment must be death, according to decree against public enemy. I think it's supposed to be against public enemies. Even the youth of the accused cannot change this. Sigmund Pole. So we're gonna have to watch out for him because he seems a bit corrupt too. I am curious here. Feel given freely following her recognition by the victim. Who was the victim? Who testified against her? I, Anna Kazmierek, of sound mind and body and in full awareness of my legal rights, hereby confess to the crime of looting. Yeah, I'm just going to turn it to a transcript. On the morning of 16th October 1944, following the bombing of Brunswick by the despicable British Air Force, I have snuck out and entered the burned-out house in which I had lived. I entered the home of my neighbor, Amelia Becker, because I knew where she kept her valuables. Motivated by base instincts, my bad temper, and envy, I found Amelia's Becker's suitcase and stole it. Interesting. So Amelia is going to be claimed as the victim. Not. She's the one that I just invited, isn't she? Alright, well that could make the next episode interesting here, definitely. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. If you enjoyed the episode, please go ahead and click that like button. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon. Ooh, wait a second. There's another task here.
Looks like something from Peter's investigation. It's not like him to just leave this lying around.
Okay. Should we put him up in his office? Yeah. Alright. So we're not quite done with the day.
God damn it, I told you. Oh. Hello, Katz.
Peters.
Sorry, I thought you were Paula. She's been on my ass all day.
Are these files yours?
What? Yes. Jesus. How? Where did you get them?
They were in the archive on the desk.
On the desk. Shit. They must have slipped out when I was packing up. Well, did you read them?
No, I did not.
No, I didn't.
There was this game the guards at the camp had. They take a prisoner's hat, throw it, and order them to go fetch. And as they ran to pick it up, the guards would shoot them and claim it was an escape attempt. And
Wow.
if they refused to fetch them, they were also shot for disobeying orders. The file you found is a testimony about this. It's an account of one of such murders. The victim's name was Elisha Kalka, Jewish male, born in 1894 in Krakow. He arrived at Auschwitz in late 40 and was killed in early 41. The witness even gives a date, but I'm not sure about it.
That's horrible.
Yes, well, horrible, of course, but hardly rare. Anyway, thank you for finding it. I can't believe I didn't even notice it was gone.
Alright, so we could ask about Christoph, about his work, or an opinion on Kazmierek. I'm going to go with an opinion on Kazmierek since that's the case I'm working
I
on.
wanted to hear your opinion about my new case. Or rather, an old case. It's from Brunswick.
Let me stop you right there, Katz. I have no intention of doing your job for you. And I'm busy. Ugh, but if you say Brunswick, that's Bauer's old territory. You'll probably find something in the archives.
I did. Okay, guess that dismissed my conversation then. Alright, so as I said, ending the video here. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, I'd really appreciate if you did. Definitely helps out my channel and allows you to know when I put out new videos. With that in mind though, I hope to see you back for the next episode of The Darkest Files.